saying? Okay. Listen. Now look. Now boom. Getting back to this championship life. You know what I'm saying? Getting back to this championship life. Now boom. One of the championship games, we was in op territory. We went to the ops field or whatever. So we cool as hell today or whatever. But back then, it was like real. Like back then, you had to. Soon as we walk into the stadium, I see like 2 or 3 ops, and these boys was ready. Which I like that. These boys coming big and heavy. So as soon as we come through the stadium, I see. Rest in peace to my. He ended up dying too. Rest in peace to my man. He was my boy. This was my boy though. He ended up dying. Like they said, his man had shot him or whatever by like an accident or whatever. They was like playing with something, and the kid shot him and shit like that in his stomach or whatever. I seen the kid. I was in jail. I seen him. We was riding on a bus together, shackled up or whatever. I'm like, yeah, man. The joint. He said they was like fumbling around with the joint, and the joint went off and shit like that. He said they gave him like 1 or 3 because his moms had came to court and was like, yo, that's my boy right there, you know, so forth and so on. You know, that's his best friend, so forth and so on, or whatever. So, like, life crazy though, because like a couple years later, he ended up getting like 40 years. Shit like that, like 40, 48 years or some shit like that, or 50 years or 52 something, 60 years, 80 years or something like that. And I was telling him, I'm like, yo, bruh, the way you talking, you know what I mean? Just chill out, be easy, you know what I mean? Like, it sound good, but that sound like, kind of like, it sound like you living like a out-of-body experience or something like that, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like maybe you need to like do some more soul searching or something like that. Or whatever. One thing I learned about this music experience was to always, I love people who like to do business. I love people who like to do business, and cause I love to spend money or whatever. So, that's one thing I loved about this music game. I love people that's about business, cause I love spending money or whatever. I remember when I was younger, man. And I had my little summer jobs and stuff like that. I remember some of my big homies just coming through, like, what you got on you or whatever. And I'll be like, man, I got like, you know, I got like $80 on me and stuff like that. Man, I'm like, now you got $160 on you. You know what I mean? So that's what the game remind me. It bring me back to my childhood elements and stuff like that. But as soon as we get back to my championship life, though, as soon as we walk through the stadium, I see the kid, my man, rest in peace. This was my man and shit like that, because we got cool. We had got cool. One day, I was in jail with his brother or whatever, his little bro or whatever. As soon as I come through there, I see him or whatever. This one I was like, I had to be like 15. I was sliding through juvie or whatever, and I seen him, and I'm like, and we had our little words, we had our little back and forth words, but he was alright, but you know what I mean? Like I said, I like playing that tall running back. I like being the big one coming. I like to be the big guy coming into the game. So he was a little shorter. He was a little smaller than me, or whatever. So we had our run-ins, our little back and forth. We had our little word play or whatever. The teacher kicked us out the class or whatever. And next thing you know, we on the same like level. We on the same like pod unit. We on the same unit together. I think they was calling it like pods back then or whatever. And we was playing like, I think we was playing like Nintendo 64 or something like that. And I'm like, you know, I felt this chemistry, I felt this vibe. I was like, yo, man, I tell you, man, I said, man, you know, I tell you, man, you know, fuck all that shit, man. Let's get this money, you know what I mean? Let's get this dough, you know what I'm saying? He like, all right, bro, you know what I mean? All right, bro, or whatever. So he went to his cell first, and then when I was walking past his cell and I seen him just chilling, and I looked in there, I seen him. I just thought he was cool as hell to throw up the peace sign like this and shit like that. It just something just vibe with me, clicked with me. I just knew he was my boy. I knew that was my brother for life from that standpoint on. So I end up seeing him. So I end up seeing we walking into the stadium. This the kid I'm telling you about. Rest in peace to my man when this man had like shot him by mistake or whatever. So we end up I end up seeing him. We was going to this party. We end up going to this party. And we was going to this party or whatever. You know, I was with some of my young boys. Some of my today they taught me. I was with some of my young boys, but even though I learned a lot from them, no doubt about that. There's no doubt that I learned some real gray hairs from them. Just know that, really. So I was with some of my young boys or whatever, and we was, as soon as we get on the train, we was getting on the train, and we see him and a couple other boys. Now this was some serious. Me and him had some serious like debts that we had to like. We had some real serious debts with each other. So that's like a whole nother like story or whatever. So I see him or whatever. Now I'm looking at him, and he ain't really like, cause usually he'll like flip out and he'll wild out, whatever, and we'll do what we gotta do from there. But he was just he was like chilling, you know what I mean? He was laid back, like he was orientated. I liked the way he like was carrying himself or whatever. And so we get off the train and we walking all the way down. So he like, yo, bruh. So we walk backwards. He like, yo, what's good? Yo, my bro told me that you was like, yo, man, let's squash that shit. Let's get this money or whatever. I'm like, yeah, man, shit, man, let's get this money or whatever. And so we walked down there. He was with a bunch of his young boys or whatever. We smoking, drinking. Now I had this little shorty that I was talking to down there. She was so cold. I just seen her not too long ago. She's still alright, but she wasn't what she was back then though. You know what I'm saying? She was like coldest thing smoking back then. You know what I mean? So I seen her or whatever. I mean, so we was smoking, drinking. You know, we was doing what we do, politicking, laughing, having a good time, just doing what friends do, you know. We was in our we had to be like, we was young, we had to be like 15 maybe, 13, 14, somewhere around there. So we ended up getting to the projects or whatever. This was one of the like little project parties or whatever. And she all up on me, my little shorty, she was all up on me, but she kind of like had an attitude, or I don't know, maybe my touch wasn't right or whatever. Whatever her problem was, she just kept like moving, like she didn't really want to, like it's like she had an attitude or whatever. So next thing you know, we see like, next thing you know, my man, one of my young boys, he like, yo, these boys over here fronting or whatever. So soon as he, I swear to God, soon as, I'm like, who you talking about or whatever? Because I'm over here chilling with shorty or whatever. So I'm like, who you talking about? So I walks over there. I walks over to where he was talking about. Like, I'm like what you? Next thing you know, I got caught 2 times by some nigga that was big as hell. That nigga was tall as hell. Caught me twice. As soon as I walked into 2 blows. Boom, boom. So we get the brawling in the house party or whatever. Shit like that. Next thing you know, I'm in the kitchen. 2 niggas run up. 2 niggas run up on me in the kitchen. We getting it on in the kitchen. Shit like that. Next thing you know, I'm on the bed. Somebody got me in a headlock and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So the kid got me in the headlock for like almost 60 seconds though. And I can't get out the joint. Next thing you know, I see my man, he coming through. He kicks me out. I could see him kicking him like he kicked me out the headlock. And once I got out that headlock, man, we thrashed that boy on that bed. We put like at least 6 feet on that food, man. That food was like 6 feet. We put at least 6 feet on that food that day. And then, after that, and shit like that, them boys, his boys and them ran out the door and shit like that. Now we getting it on outside, easing up from there and shit like that. Really. That's my word, easing up from there. We was not playing with them boys that day. But I remember him though. I just tell that story though because he was there that day. Because I'm telling you, like, as soon as we walked through the stadium, we seen him. He was like with 4 other boys in the field or whatever. And on this day, he like, yo, man, man, you good, man? I respected his maturity. Like, I thought he had a great average with me. You feel me? Like, I felt him that day. He was very mature. Like, man, you good, man? Everything good, man, before we breeze out. Because he ended up breezing out before we went outside. So, so from there, or whatever, it was crazy because the same project we at, my man, he just got into a situation. My man, he just got into a situation not too long ago. He looking at like 40 or whatever, 40 years. It's crazy because right before this though, we like 20 deep and we down here because we was fucking with these shorties because they was cool as hell or whatever. We had our good nights, we had our bad nights, you know what I mean? We was off and on. But on this day, we was like 20 deep or whatever. Same projects. But it wasn't the same people though. So we all sitting out there and some OG cat roll up. He playing that line him up. Shut him down, line him up. Shut him down, He playing that joint. Line him up. Niggas wanna, okay, catch it. Beat him like OJ. He was playing that. I remember that day too. And he left the car running. The joint going crazy. Like he got the beats in there and the joint's just going crazy. The joint, wah, wah, wah. The joint going crazy. His truck rattling like a motherfucker. So he hops out and I'm like, damn, like, so my man, he got the tool. My man at the time, he had the tool on him and shit like that. And I remember because we just came from somewhere and, you know what I'm saying, I was with him the whole day. So he had like, I forgot what I think it was like I think it was like a screwdriver or some shit. Whatever. If that shit would have came, like, listen, I don't know, it was a tool or I don't know what the fuck that shit was. But just know it's just like that shit was. So now look. Now the first person he go to is my man. For some strange reason, he go right to my man or whatever. I think he had a screwdriver or something on. Something he had. That shit was, I don't know, whatever that shit was heavy and chunky. I swear to God, shit like that. I was with him the whole day. So he go right to my man. So he like, yo, what's up? Or whatever. Yo, what's up with y'all boys just sitting out here like that for? Like, what's up? So he pressed, he in his face though. So my man, he like, what? Motherfucker. And I'm just sitting there looking because I'm like, this motherfucker got this big ass tool on him. Why the fuck he gonna go straight for him? Like, and I'm trying to see how my man gonna react though, because I'm like, only if he knew what was going on or whatever. So my man drinking, he got like a water bottle and he drinking it and he just throw the joint. He tell my man, yo, pick the joint up and shit like that. My man like, shit, I ain't picking that shit up. So he like, man, you ain't gonna pick that shit up? He like, nah, I ain't picking that shit up. Or whatever. So he get on the phone and shit like that. And he called like 2, 3 other niggas. Now we know these boys. Like, I know these boys. One of the kids that came through, that's my man. I used to play football with him. We was on the same team. And years later, I ended up linking up with him. And I think we was in one of them jails. I ended up linking up with him. And we ended up kicking it, breaking bread, and doing what we do. So he came through. He like, oh, these boys cool as hell, whatever. We slapped each other up, man. It was all love and shit like that. I slapped baby girl on her ass and I end up jetting, shit like that. After we end up getting it on in that project before this day, after that day we had got it on, she ended up calling me. I was at my grandma's house and she called me like, yo, what's up? The one girl called me. She like, yo, such and such want to talk to you. I'm like, stop lying, man. Why you gonna say something like that, man? You know that badass bitch she ain't gonna wanna holler at me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, put her on the phone, man. Tell her to tell me that or whatever. So she on the phone. She like, yeah, man, I said that or whatever. I'm like, word, man. I remember the one night my man was balling out of control around this time. He kept him in like at least 2, 3 bankrolls on him or whatever. And around this time, I was on, but I was off this day. I had like $6 on me, 7, 8, $9 on me or whatever. And we get to ordering pizza or whatever. And this was like a girl in my dreams though. So we laying on the couch. She got her boxers on. You know, she pushing up on me or whatever. So we end up sliding or whatever. We end up sliding. I threw her against the wall, started kissing her. Stuff that I seen on the movies. Then we went to the room or whatever. And all I remember is like, man, all I remember that night is, man, just telling her how much I loved her or whatever. And from that standpoint, but yeah, getting back to this championship life. As soon as we walk through the door, as soon as we walk through the stadium, we see Baby Boy, shit like that. Him and his crew. It's like 4 of them boys. So he like, what's up? I'm like, what's up? But it's like 50 niggas over there. We in ops territory. We on the op field. So we like, what's up? I'm like, what's up? He like, what's up? So I keep it moving. Me and my team, we keep it moving. So now the coach tell me, he like, yo, you gonna start quarterback this game. Cause usually I play running back. We had so much talent, you know what I mean? This was one of them, we had like an all-star team. You know what I'm saying? If you ever went to a Super Bowl and it was just like so many stars on one team and everybody was crying about not getting the ball or, yo, man, why I ain't get the ball? You know how that go or whatever. And on this particular day, the coach tell me like, yo, you're going to be starting quarterback this year. You're going to be starting quarterback for this game. So the first half, the second half, I didn't even get in the game on offense or whatever. So I ain't gonna front though. I felt like just throwing my helmet on the football field, and that's how mad I was. I swear to God, I was mad as hell. So, but the second half, he put me in the game, and he put me in the game. As soon as I get in the game, I scramble. I was scrambling for like 20 yards backwards. I lost like 20 yards. Now my boy, he was following me the whole time when I was scrambling. So as soon as I turned around, I just dumped the ball off to him, and he broke it for like 40 yards. He didn't score, but he got down to like the 20-yard line. So now we go to overtime. One thing I learned about playing against championship teams is, on defense, if you're playing against a fast team, a lot of people gonna fall around you, and you're gonna have to like jump over them, and you might like fall on top of them and stuff like that. That's what I learned about playing against fast teams. So now we go to two overtimes. And so now the overtimes back then was kind of different. Like, you would get the ball on the 20-yard line, on that like the 10-yard line, and then they'd get the ball like on the 10-yard line. And it's kind of nippy. So they got the ball. I just was very, very confident that we would stop them. So we ended up stopping them. Then we got the ball. They ended up stopping us. Then they got the ball. We ended up stopping them. Then we got the ball. So as soon as I run to the sideline, I tell my coach, I said, yo, that running the ball ain't working. Let me throw the ball. He said, no, go back out there and hand the ball off. So I'm like, all right. So I ran back out there. I handed the ball off. Boom. So when I came back to him this time, he like, yo, fake the handoff. He like, fake the handoff and throw the ball. I swear to God, dogs, this was the most, I seen it, yo. I swear to God, I felt it. I knew it. This is why I told him, I said, listen, let me throw the ball because I felt it. I got the ball. So I faked the handoff like this. Boom. Faked it to him. And I kept the ball like right here on my side. Because this how I was raised. So I roll around. And I got so much space that I knew that I was going to pump. I knew I was going to pump fake. And I knew it was something out there that was going to come out of nowhere. I knew the unseen. The unknown was out there. Like, my man looked it wide open. But I knew something was out there that I could not see or whatever. So I pump faked the ball. As soon as I pump faked the ball, somebody came out of nowhere. So now my time running out, I'm getting tackled by this time. And while I'm getting tackled, the ball already released from my hand, and my man ended up catching the touchdown pass right in the end zone. The whole field ran on the whole sideline ran on the field, dogs. Really, that shit was crazy. My man, one of my big homies, he picked me up, had me on the shoulders. That was the most love that I ever felt in my life, dogs. That day right there was very, very special. I was so pumped up, I ran to the other crowd. I ran to the sideline. This was just like me trying to get a name for myself growing up. Where I'm from. I was so pumped up, I ran to the side of the crowd. I ran to the sideline or whatever. Pressed them like, what's up? Or whatever. A couple of them boys ran on the field. I was so tired, I threw a punch. The nigga blocked the joint. Now we walking out the joint. My family, they grabbed me like, get your ass over here, sit your ass down and shit like that. They damn near gave me a spanking on the field or whatever. So now we walking out. We walking out the field. Now we see like 30 boys. And now it's dark out here. It's a night game. We see like 30 boys. They walking up on us or whatever. I'm in the back though, because my family, they already whooped my ass and shit like that. They put the belt right to my ass and shit like that. they try to whoop me right there. Right on the football field. So now my mans and them, they 20 deep walking out. Now I mean, we trying to walk out the stadium because we in op territory. So now these boys 30 deep. Now these boys 30 deep, like walking towards us or whatever. So next thing you know, Boys split up. They hop in different little cars or whatever. We get back to the block or whatever. So one of them boys have my number. They call my phone. Yo. Yeah. We just got your man. Yeah, man. We just got your man or whatever. Yeah, man. We just caught your man out there or whatever. Yeah. Wow. So I'm like, what, motherfucker? We gonna see y'all niggas. That's my word, shit like that. So I'm thinking like, so we all. So basically they like, yeah. They basically like, yo. So I guess they had split up. I guess they ran the opposite way. By the time we got back to the hood, I guess they ran into we was already in their hood or whatever. So when we on the block, they called me like, yeah, we got your man, da da da. Somebody had my number or whatever, but they had his phone. So we all just sitting there like, damn, man. Damn, we all fucked up. Like, damn, what the fuck we gonna do now, man? They didn't call my man. We all like, damn, what we gonna do? I'm shit like that, man. We don't know where these boys at, you know what I mean? So next thing you know, we all the way down the block now. So next thing you know, we all popping, we drinking. It's the same night though. So we drinking, smoking, or whatever. And my man, he like, yo, that's the car right there. And shit like that. It had rolled down the block though. And as soon as he pointed it out, we like, oh shit, look at them boys right there. So next thing you know, we right here and shit like that. We on the block right here. We see two cars. Whoa! We see one car speeding up and another car like chasing the joint. It's like two cars and shit like that. Ain't no cars out there. All you can see is street lights in the street and shit like that. Whoa! Two cars. My man's in them chasing these boys and shit like that. And I see my man hanging out the window, letting go key. He letting go key early and shit like that. And we just hear, we like, oh shit, cause we like, what the fuck going on? I guess when them boys seen them boys go down the street, I guess they hopped in the car and followed them. Next thing you know, we watching them boys all the way over here. Two cars like NASCAR racing up the street. My man letting go key, he hanging out the window, and next thing you know, we hear boom, a big ass boom. We like, ah! That's all you hear, boom. Ah! We like, what the fuck? We like, what the fuck going on? Shit like that. Next thing you know, my man, he drive back up. He like, yo, da 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 da. Yo, trade off and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Trade off. Boom, boom. We gone. We out of here. So boom, we walking. Okay, so now we start walking down this way or whatever. We get to the block or whatever. In the same car that we seen at he like right there. I'm like, that's the rawest shit I ever seen in my life. I never seen something like that before. Or whatever. I'm like, I never seen something like that before. Or whatever. I never seen somebody like double back or whatever. I never seen something like that before. So we like, oh shit, we get our, we like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? So next thing you know, he like at the he like right there at the light or whatever. I think it was like a stop or something like that. He like right there or whatever. So me and my man, we run up the street or whatever. And next thing you know, I just hear my man like, man, fuck that shit. He turns around because he at the stop. Like he right there. We like, oh shit. So me and my man, we run up the street or whatever. I just hear my man like, man, fuck that shit. So he turned back around. I turned back around with him. That fool let go key, dogs. That shit was crazy. That shit was like, yo, that fool was like, I said, let go key. Yo, after we let go key, man, we hit the cut and shit like that. Hit like 2-3 cuts and shit like that. We was in the house smoking blunts. Like, yo, man, that shit was crazy. That was one of the funnest championship games of my life, dogs. Let's go, looky here, man.